You know, learning to drive isn't the most fun thing to do when you're a teenager. You're like so nervous, and your dad's entrusting his truck to you and telling you to drive around the block. Get used to it, okay? My dad had bought a truck in the late 60s or the early 70s. I'm thinking 1970 or 71 he bought a Chevrolet pickup truck. Okay, a truck, that's cool. Okay, but the thing was, it was a standard. For those of you who do not know what a standard is, it means it's not an automatic. You have to shift it. You have a clutch, and with this particular truck, the gear shift was on the column where the steering wheel is. Margaret got it pretty good. She drove an automatic. She learned real quick how to drive. It came easy to her. To me, when Daddy would be in the truck with me and telling me to drive, because I had my restricted license, he would be telling me to quit tapping the gas. Okay? I would engage the clutch and tap the gas. So we were doing this. Because I wasn't confident. Okay? I thought the truck was going to take off if I applied smooth pressure to the accelerator. So I was tapping it, I guess, getting a feel for it. Well, one time this didn't go over too well. My dad had had a few drinks, and he had released me with a truck, to go home. And so I went home, and he called when he was ready to be picked up, which was probably about maybe 3/4 of a mile, 7/8 of a mile from the house. So I went over there and made it in there okay, and parked it and went inside to tell Daddy I was there to pick him up. I had my restricted license. I had taken my safety course in high school, and so he lumbers out to the truck, and he wasn't happy with me tapping it. I was trying to maneuver it and stuff because I had pulled in front of another car. And I backed it up a little bit, and he was saying, "Come on, give it some gas, give it some gas." Well, I said, "Daddy, let me straighten the wheel." Well, no power steering. Okay, so I'm turning the wheel to the left, trying to get it where the front of the truck wouldn't make contact with the truck in front of us. Well, Daddy decides, I'll just put my damn size 11 boot on top of her foot and push it down. Well, when he did that, I had a sudden burst of speed. Now, I missed the car that I was maneuvering around that was directly in front of me, but the car that was parked on the other side of the drive, I sideswiped it all the way down. I threw my hands up over the steering wheel and stuff and just burst into tears. I said, I'll never get my driver's license now, because I figured the guy's going to come out and he's going to call the cops, and they're going to arrest my dad for being intoxicated, even though he was a licensed driver and I had my license with me. He was still intoxicated. But the guy comes out and he's like, "Oh, hell, Al, don't worry about it," and stuff. I need a new car anyway. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm glad, for that nobody called the cops and I wasn't arrested or ticketed, Didn't want to start my driving career that way. But, with time and stuff I learned how to drive, and I became a very good driver. In fact, I had a chauffeur's license. I had a commercial license when I worked at my last job, and drove like a 34-foot bus, and Thank God they were not standards, but I've had an affinity for standards before. When I was in North Carolina, I purchased a 74 Chevy Vega that was a three-speed on the floor. And I've had several cars that were standards. I feel comfortable with the standard. Well, I have up until my knees giving me problems and stuff. Now I drive a regular old woman's car and stuff with an automatic transmission and everything. But still, it was fun learning to drive. Aline, I'd let her drive Daddy's truck around the block a few times, and we kept ending up in the ditch because she wouldn't make a wide turn around the corner. And thank God the ditch was like very, very shallow. It was just like, a gradual decline down in it. Very, very easy to drive out of. And I'm like, oh my God, she's never going to learn to drive. But she did. She was flying over the hills in Mississippi for years. She only hit a deer once. Put it in her trunk and went home. They had deer meat. I only almost hit people, but I never. Well, I did hit a deer. Yeah. But I didn't throw him in the back of my truck and take off, okay? Anyway, when you learn to drive, it opens doors that you never saw before. And when both my sisters left home, I got to drive all the time, whether I wanted to or not. I got to drive and take Mama to the grocery store, take Mama to Wieners, take Mama to Western Auto, take Mama here, take Mama there, and stuff. So I got a lot of miles on me, But all you can say about driving is it's a necessary evil. You have to learn to do it. And like I said before in my other video, I'm a good driver. So I am. Anyway. Just when you learn to drive, keep it on the road. Do you hear that, Alan? Leave the deer alone. Bye. Oh, don't forget to subscribe and leave me a message. Give me an idea of what you'd like to hear about. You want more individual stories or more family stories? Or I'm going to move into my adult life eventually and stuff, and go over the fun that I had with my own children. So, like I said, subscribe, and be seeing you soon. Bye.